What is good, everyone? This is the Views from the 573 podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. It is draft week. We are finally here. At the time of this taping, we're a little less than 24 hours officially until the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock in Pittsburgh. And it's been a long road. We finally made it. Draft time is always one of the more fun times of the year on this podcast. And as per usual, Matt Mormann and I, we're doing the Views mock draft. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm good, Ryan. I am excited. It's one of those things, in a year where I'm not super thrilled about the draft, these rookies aren't really revving my engine much. As far as kind of dynasty fantasy football guys go, this is a pretty weak class for all the fantasy positions. Like, it's not my favorite draft we've ever covered, Ryan. Um, but it's here, so I'm gonna get excited, and we're gonna do a mock draft the night before because that's what we do, Ryan. This is like one of our like. I was kind of sad that I thought for a bit we weren't gonna get this done because this really is kind of one of our like staple things that we get together and do
Yeah,
every year.
yeah, yeah. But we thought it wasn't going to happen because allergies got the best of you last week, and then they got the best of me. At the time of this recording yesterday. We didn't know if this was going to get done with the two of us or solo.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, the allergy boogie monsters are here. We have storms, we have weather, we have just issues all over the place right now. So thankfully though, we are toughing it out, Ryan. And playing through some injuries.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. We're playing through some injuries, like some of these guys are going to be playing through here in the next few months with their new teams. Before we get into the actual mock, Matt, you asked me to indulge into some fantasy and some dynasty football talk with some of these offensive players, and like you said, it's a weak class for some of these offensive players. So, what have you gone through with some of these guys here at the main fantasy positions?
So I play a lot of dynasty fantasy football where you have your rookie drafts where we're going to draft these kids here in the next few weeks to actually get their spots, right? And a lot of times, you think back to some of the drafts in the past, right? The golden one, my favorite, like I have like nostalgia for 2021 because that was like Trevor and Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Remember the excitement
Yeah.
that I had, especially
Oh
around
man.
that. But then you also had Jamar Chase in there. You had Kyle Pitts,
Yes.
Najee.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a big Najee guy. I actually preferred Javante Williams out of that class. You had Devonta Smith. You had Jalen Waddle. Holy cow! It had like 14 guys who were just looking like they were going to be incredible. And of course, they're all not going to be, but man, it sure felt like that. To the point where Mac Jones, I remember taking him at like the first pick of round two in a rookie draft. And Ryan, I look at this class and I feel like there are just tiers missing. At running back, like even in a super flex league where quarterbacks really are important because you play two of them, a lot of times that's going to mean QBs are going to go really early. Even though in your traditional fantasy, maybe they won't, right? Because in Dynasty, longevity matters. Quarterbacks last a long time when they hit, so like they get moved up because of that. Also, Superflex to move up even higher. Well, this year we've got Jeremiah Love, and just like Bijan, just like Ashton Genty, that puts running back really at the top of this class. And I think in general terms, he's the 101 to me. We'll see where he lands. Ryan, I think my favorite potential landing spot for him is Washington from a fantasy standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
As far as any teams that are like realistic, do you have any thoughts on where you want to see Jeremiah Love? Where not for your purposes, Ryan, not for Tennessee Titans fandom, but when we come to even August in redraft leagues, like what logo next to his name would just get you the most excited?
I'll tell you what, it's not going to happen. But if the Rams decide, hey, we want to trade up and we want to add him, it's very enticing. Kyron Williams is good, but you get Jeremiah Love rookie deal with that Sean McVay offense.
Sure.
It's enticing, but I mean Washington is. I mean with him and Jaden, oh boy,
Yeah.
have fun stopping that.
Right. That's kind of my thought too. Like if he can go there and he can be alongside Jay Daniels, that's got potential to be, Lamar plus that Ravens running back. Whether it was Ingram early on for Lamar or then Henry,
Yeah.
right? Like it's got potential for just awesome stuff. The number two running back in the class is probably just whoever goes to Seattle, right? Like to me, Ryan, Jadarian Price, Mike Washington, Jonah Coleman is actually probably my favorite of this group.
Yeah.
Those three, you can to me, it's gonna purely depend on their landing spot for who's my RB2, 3, and 4 are. No matter who it is, and no matter where they go, I'm gonna have a hard time having any of them, even the guy who the Seahawks maybe take. I'll have a hard time placing them over any of the top three receivers. I think to me, like my dynasty board in Superflex is probably gonna be Jeremiah Love, Fernando Mendoza, the three receivers. And again, I don't really care which. It's just going to be landing spot for those three.
Hmm.
And then it'll probably be running back that goes to Seattle. And from there, it's wide open. And I can't remember a year where it has been as wide open as early, like to the point where if you're sitting here at the 109, I don't really know what to expect to do. And we'll see after the draft. Landing spots are huge.
Yeah.
Um, most years though, I can at least like be pretty enticed by like late first round picks. This year, that's really not the case. Yeah, those other running backs I'm not in love with. We'll see where they go. I expect all those three guys to be either the Seahawks at 32 or kind of earlier second round picks. So
Hmm.
that can be good depending on where they land. I think some of my preferred spots, obviously it depends on who Jeremiah Love goes to, but
Yeah.
beyond that, I think like Tennessee, right, would be is a good spot with open work. Same with Arizona, kind of. Um, Same with that's kind of about it. Washington. Those are kind of the ones that are at the top of the second round that I'd be kind of excited for. And it just depends. Jeremiah Love's probably gonna take one of those slots. So we'll see how that goes. For me, the wide receivers though, I prefer Jordan Tyson the most of the group. I
Hmm.
kind of go Tyson Lemon Tate. But it's really just gonna depend on who they get attached to. And then I go Kevin Concepcion, and then Omar Cooper Jr., and then Denzel Boston. And after that, you put it in a blender. And so we'll see what the draft capital is in those guys. Ryan, the other guy I want to talk to you about because I don't think we're gonna get to him in our mock. So the one last guy I want to highlight a little bit is Ty Simpson, the
Hmm.
quarterback from Alabama. I don't think he's a first rounder, Ryan. Do you?
No, but it feels like there's going to be some team that will feel like he is in the first round. At least that's what it seems like. Arizona has a they're dead center on trying to find a way to make that happen. But I just don't. I just don't see it. At the very least, I can see at the top of the second round either one of the Jets or the Cardinals going and getting him there. But I don't. I don't think he is.
I don't either. And here's my other thing too is Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. Next year's draft looks to be very strong at quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we kind of said the same thing about this year at this point, but I think in next year's, it seems like there's a lot more guys that that's out there that you can make the case for. Like a couple guys came back to school, like Dante Moore, who could have been a Jet, and he might end up being a Jet still next year. You got Arch Manning, who I mean, could have gone this year, but I mean, we know the Mannings. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't get. It wasn't going to happen. But
You'll
yeah,
miss kid.
yeah, yeah. Chambliss,
Um,
yeah, he's back.
so my point there is like, if Carolina Panthers could have had a do-over, I bet they wouldn't have wasted a pick on Jimmy Clausen, knowing a year later they were going to have the first overall pick and take Cam Newton, right?
Yeah,
So why waste an early second on Ty Simpson if you are a team who is so clearly going to be bad? If you're Arizona, if you're the Jets, if you're the Browns, take this year and find out what you've got in Shadur. Or by the way, Deshaun Watson, right? Like
yeah,
you've got QBs in the room. The Jets have Geno, the Cardinals have Brissett. They've got the veterans that can play through it. Like, I'm not saying the guy's gonna go undrafted. I'm just saying I would not use an early second on that guy. I don't have the second round draft order in front of me. I feel like the Rams with their second round pick could be interesting.
Yeah, I think it could be possible. I think Pittsburgh is another spot that's come to mind because they got the draft capital that they got a lot of picks in the top 100 where they could just be like, we're gonna take a swing. We're gonna take a swing on this guy and
Yeah,
hopefully and he needs to sit a year. He needs to sit a year, and behind Aaron, he's definitely gonna sit a year.
yeah. And Pittsburgh really is the pretty obvious spot. And you're right, their second round pick at pick 53, that definitely feels like that could be the spot. Honestly, I'm just gonna throw one out here, Ryan. And this could sound really stupid. But what about Philly?
Mm, I
There's a
don't
lot
know.
of noise. There's a lot of noise around Jalen Hurts.
That is true.
There's a lot of noise. And when was Jalen Hurts drafted? In the second round, when there was a lot of noise around Carson Wentz. It's not the most un-Philadelphia thing in the world. Now he is the complete opposite. Hurts was a toolsy, high upside project guy. Ty Simpson might turn out to be Derek Carr. Uh, you know, I'm just throwing that one out there, Ryan. Just I don't think there's a ton of teams that make a ton of sense for him. I think Philly, I can see the path where I can see it happening because also I think Philly, and I say this as a pure compliment, they're crazy enough to do it.
Yeah, Howie is crazy.
He is, and there's a lot of just like weird stuff with Jalen Hurts these days, and teams aren't afraid to eat a ton of cap space to move a guy, and so a year from now is Jalen Hurts that guy? Maybe. I don't really think so, but maybe. So I just want to throw that one out there though for Ty Simpson. Like I said, we're not going to get to him at all in the mock, but he is the number two quarterback. So was there any other players, Ryan, you want to touch on that are not going to be brought up in the first round, like have no shot here?
Um, I'm trying to think of I mean, there's that second tier receivers, but I mean, there's it's whatever. Um, no,
The
other than
the
that, I
the,
think
the Boston Cooper KC group.
well after them, the Brazzles, the Chris Bell, that group.
Who's your
No,
favorite out of that group? Is there anyone that you really like?
I mean, listen, bias, here. I mean, Brazzle is, but Chris Bell, um, I mean, he was hurt, but like he's 6'2", a big receiver. It feels like a guy that could be in that mold of like, oh, hey, he could be an AJ Brown. He's got the AJ Brown type of physique.
Oh
Um,
boy.
and just saying like, oh, hey, that's enticing. We want to see if we want to make that work. So I think him. Another speaking of Ole Miss, another receiver, Deshaun Stribling has seen his name rise up. He's kind of the same way where AJ was a yak monster at Ole Miss. This guy is the same way. Um, so other than that, I mean, it's weak on skill sets, skill players. After that, um, as far as fantasy stuff. But I think other than that, no, I think those are the only couple guys.
I just scrolled way down and I saw this young fella out of Delaware State, Ryan.
Oh goodness.
Antonio Gates Jr. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? There's got to be
Excuse
some
me,
other
Ryan.
names
I
there.
see another gray hair popping up in my beard.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I would not imagine he's the only son of a former player that we have here. I know for a fact that he's not. I know that for a fact there's Josiah Trotter. Jeremiah Trotter's kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Come to mind, linebacker, of course. Um,
Mizzou, right?
yeah, Mizzou. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Not to go on too much of a tangent here, Ryan. I have no idea why. You know the Mandela effect, where like your brain just like believes things that did not happen at all.
Yeah.
I have one with Jeremiah Trotter having been a St. Louis Ram. I don't know where this came from. I have no idea. He wasn't. He played for the Eagles, Redskins, Eagles, Bucks, Eagles. That was his career. He is not from St. Louis. He's from Texas. And I remember watching a Mizzou game and seeing his kid, seeing Trotter out there. And my reaction, as it always is with Jeremiah Trotter, was, well, that makes sense. His dad played in St. Louis. He was probably born while his dad was playing for the Rams. Like, Ryan, I don't have a clue why this is a thing, but like, it is. It's this. My only like gut potential feeling is maybe I like um on Madden as a kid did a fantasy draft and like had him as like the captain of my defense or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. But for some reason, Jeremiah Trotter as a St. Louis Ram is in my head. So if the LA Rams were to draft his kid,
Uh,
it would be the biggest like
oh,
Doctor Strange would need to look in my brain because something's
yeah.
going on here.
Well, I mean, there's been a couple mocks where I've had him go to the Rams in the bottom of the
Yeah.
second round. So,
Oh boy. Oh
I mean,
boy.
if the mocks are any indication, it's a possibility.
Okay. All right.
Oh, right. All right, everybody. We are mock drafting right now, and we discussed it pre-show. Matt is going to have the odd picks, and I'm going to have the even picks, which means, Matt, you're on the board with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Boo. Sorry, Ryan. I just want to set the tone onto how the first pick gets announced as per usual. This one's the obvious one. This one's easy. This is Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah,
He is he is first overall caliber, I think. Kind of in the way that like Jared Goff, is kind of the comparison I made before. Um, is he's not I don't feel about him the way I felt about Caleb, right? I don't feel about him the
yeah,
way I felt about Trevor, Joe Burrow, Kyler, Kim Ward. I guess I feel about him similarly to how I felt overall about Cam Ward, but Cam Ward was like more fun.
yeah.
Um, I do feel better about him than Bryce Young, but I felt better about CJ Stroud than I feel about Mendoza. So make sense, I guess. Um, yeah, but like he's worthy of being the first overall pick. He should be the first overall pick. On top of that, there's no one else. To me, the two pass rushers are up there, but there's no one who should pass Mendoza. He's the guy.
Yeah. It feels like this has been telegraphed for the last couple months now. Hire Clint Kubiak, sign Linderbaum in free agency. It feels like it was trending this way, and now the only thing for Vegas is to make it official tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, and they're gonna have about a few minutes to do so, but it'll become official. And listen, I think the next step will be just build around him, get a good infrastructure around there. Um, and you got an offensive coach in Kubiak who had an awesome year in Seattle. So that's at least one positive that you're heading into if you're Mendoza, and you got already a couple of guys in Bowers and Genty that you can lean on. So not a bad situation, I think. Considering what all they've done this offseason, but it's going to become official tomorrow night.
Yeah.
All right, number two, I got the Jets. I think I got both Jets picks. Uh,
Oh, look at you. Isn't that exciting?
oh boy, man. Oh, it's so tempting to want to, mess with them and say like, "Hey, you're going to be getting this person." Um, I think this is one of two of the pass rushers. It's going to be Orville Reese or David Bailey, and it feels like honestly, Matt, just recently, it feels like it's been switching almost every other day about who the insiders are saying who's the
It
leader of the
does.
clubhouse.
Agreed. It is. It has been going back and forth a lot.
Yeah, it's like, and the Jets canceled their top 30 visit with Bailey, and what does that signify, if anything at
Wild.
all? It's silly season. We're at this point where it's silly season. I saw a quote where it said Belichick was like, "It take information at face value until about 12 hours out, and then if you hear it's like, oh well, it might be real." So this one pass rusher, I think I'm gonna go with the guy I had with them in the mock I did a few weeks ago. I'm gonna go with Arvell Reese. I'm gonna go with Arvell. I think there's just a lot of untapped potential right there, and that's a key word right there. Potential. But I think if you take a look at that, it's hard to pass up adding that into your defense, considering the upside of having that is so enormous that if he hits, then you're going to get a guy that has maybe the highest upside as a pass rusher in this draft. Now, is he the more out of the two pass rushers? Is he the safer pick? No, but I think if you're taking a look at this pick, you take a look at what he did, how Matt Patricia used him at Ohio State. I think you got to go and take the guy that could be the next Micah Parsons. And like, listen, there's that could be, but I think you got to find out if he is. I think you got to find out if he is. Um, if we were doing this tomorrow, I might say David Bailey. I might be flip flopping like everybody else has been doing, but I'm going with Darrell Reese tonight.
Yeah, and look, to me, this also makes it very easy. For the next pick, my Arizona pick at 3 is David Bailey. To me, these two guys are 2 and 3. They're at a premier position with pass rushers. They both project to be elite talents. And both of these guys are they're at that level where you take them at top 3 picks. Like it's yeah. This is actually I just did a mock and I actually had David Bailey going 2, but flip the coin. Either way is fine.
Man, who knows? Maybe that's what the Jets are going to do. Maybe they're going to take our method and just use the random wheel and just say, "Hey, we're going to go best 2 out of 3, David Bailey, Arvell Reese, best 2 out of 3 times. That's who we're picking." It's not the most ideal way to run an organization, but we know how Woody Johnson runs this place.
It's the Jets. Yeah, they
He
can do
takes
it that
Madden
way.
ratings into account.
Hey, and I would too.
I don't know if that's a good thing comparing yourself to Woody Johnson, but I mean, all right. Number 3. It feels like that's also a prime trade out of spot. It feels like
Yeah,
it definitely feels that way, and probably also depends on who the Jets take it to.
you think? You think it matters?
I think so. I think it depends on who trades up. There could be something that sees Arvell Reese as an off ball linebacker. That there
Okay.
could. Um,
I don't think you're trading up to 3 for a guy. I don't think you trade up to 3 for a guy you plan on having be a middle linebacker. I don't
yeah,
think. I think you probably stick and would just take Sonny Styles if that was your ultimate goal.
yeah.
To me, it needs to be a team that wants to use him as an edge rusher. And I really don't think it matters. I don't think it really matters between the two of them. I think that 3 is a trade up spot for sure. The teams, I don't have their draft capital of like what everyone has. I don't have that in front of me. But just kind of looking at teams that are kind of in a range where they can without giving up the moon. To me, Kansas City is the one that makes the most sense, right?
Hmm.
Because Kansas City, for as far back as you can realistically have thought, and as far forward as you can realistically project, they would have to give up so much in any other draft
But
to
this
try to go
draft,
get a player of those two qualities, right? But they have the ninth overall pick.
yep. 29.
they can go up there, right? And it's a class too where I think teams would not be. The one thing that does hurt them though is I think that teams value the third pick a heck of a lot more than what they're going to value the ninth pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that could be where Kansas City runs into a bit of a snag. But they do have a second first. I don't think you're necessarily want to trade 29 and 9 to go up there
Yeah,
and do it.
you trade
But
40.
yeah, does that get it done though? I don't know. I don't know. But if you're Kansas City, you're probably willing to trade away this year's first more than next year's, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Knowing that that pick is 29. So, um, yeah, I think Kansas City is probably the team that I would pick to be the team to trade up and go get one of these guys. And man,
Yeah.
Spags would have fun with that, right? Like you get Spags a real stud.
Oh
Like
my
look what he's
goodness.
done with the George Karlaftises of the world. Give Spags a true stud in there again. Chris Jones is old now. Like, yeah, that move makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I think Chiefs are the prime team. I think I've also read the Saints or somebody
Okay,
to take a look at. I mean, Cowboys are an obvious one. I mean, because Jerry. I mean, draft day splash.
sure.
Well, win the press conference. But recently at 3, Jeremiah Love had been the trend. So we shall see if that's going to happen tomorrow night.
I don't
And
I don't buy that much.
I don't either. And plus, it doesn't make any sense because of the running backs they have. It just, but
Right.
I've from what I've read from insiders that there's an overwhelming voice that wants him to draft them. So we shall
Well, and that
see.
could also just be, hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna take him. Come and trade for it, right? Like that could be that too.
Yeah, especially if one of the edge rushers is there. It's like, hey, we're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah. So number 4, the Titans. I think from what I've read, I've read so many things about where the Titans could go. Like I've seen even today, as of recording this, like it could be edge rusher or receiver if they're there. I'm like, oh my goodness, one man's them, one man is Sonny Styles, then it's Jeremiah Love if the edge rushers aren't there. It's like, oh my goodness. Uh, well, with both that edge rushers not there, I think I'm gonna stick to what I had in my first mock. I'm picking Jeremiah Love here to go to the Titans. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you got to score
With a
points in this
glimmer in your
league.
eye, Ryan. I can see it, Ryan. I can
You,
see
you,
how happy this makes you.
you got to score points in this league, and I don't know if you know this, but the Titans they had a problem with that last year. um,
That they do.
but also I will say Jeremiah Love would continue the trend of stud running backs in this organization. It has an amazing track record. And also, I mean, hey, stud running backs when the Titans have usually had them, the team has been good. I mean, you go back to Eddie George, Chris Johnson, Henry. I mean, there were some really good teams
Yeah.
there that made the playoffs. So I mean, hey, uh, um, so and also
I
I will bet that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be excited to buy a Jeremiah Love jersey, especially the new jerseys.
oh, for sure. I have been Mr. Poo Poo running backs as long as this podcast has existed.
Yeah.
But with this class, and the backstory behind that, really, I would say a couple of the main reasons are number one, I think running backs can be a bit of a product of their surroundings to an extent. You mentioned those stud running backs on great teams. I think part of why the running backs can be studs is because of the greats. I think it's the position that's most reliant on the rest of the offense. But they also do matter. They do also contribute. You can't just put me back there and run first. I'm not gonna be MM2K. That wouldn't have happened. Um, but the other side of it is the second contract. I think you want to be extending your first round picks. And simultaneously, I do not think you want to extend running backs. We have seen way too many second contract running backs just totally fall out of favor, right? So that's why I struggle with this. But I also think that you look at the premier positions, your quarterback, your pass protectors, your pass rushers, receivers, and corners. Those are kind of like the big premier positions.
Mm.
However, and those are the ones I would prioritize. But if there is not a stud at those spots, and if you can get a legit stud at another spot, you go ahead and do it, right? Kyle Hamilton's a safety. Safety's not in that list of positions. Kyle Hamilton is a superstar. He makes a massive difference. Just to keep on the Ravens for that matter, Derrick Henry is
Mm-hmm.
that guy. Roquan Smith is that guy. The Ravens are a team of this, right? Whereas we don't necessarily, build around the premier positions. We just bring in the very best players in football that we possibly can, right? And so when guys are super studs, they're worth it. And I think Jeremiah Love is a super stud. And I think that in this class, you're not passing up. If Drake London was in this draft, take Drake London here. But
Mm-hmm.
he's not. It's Carnell Tate, and I don't see that out of Tate, Lemon, or Tyson. So yeah, I think that makes Jeremiah Love the right pick for you, Ryan. And even though a couple months ago I was here talking to you and I was like, "Ah, Ryan, grow up. It's not the running back. Here I am eating some humble pie. It's the guy. It's the running back."
Yeah, yeah. And listen, it would bring excitement, especially with a young quarterback and a young running back. Which, I mean, thinking about those other running backs, I mean, Henry, I think overlapped with Mariota for a little bit, but they were never the one-two punch. It was mainly Tannehill and Henry.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be kind of like in the vein of, I guess, Steve McNair and Eddie George. It's like you have, two up and comers, two young guys,
What
that
about what about VY and CJ2K?
well, them too. Until VY got hurt, then it was Kerry Collins' show. Uh, um,
So what I'm
I-
hearing here, Ryan, is Marcus Mariota didn't work out, but you got saved by Ryan Tannehill.
their first name too.
Vince Young did not work out, but you got saved by Kerry Collins. Let's see here. Who are some free agent quarterbacks in the next couple of years? Can
uh,
I interest you in Mac Jones, perhaps,
uh,
Ryan?
if he wasn't already on the roster, I would say Will Levis, but he's already on the roster.
Yeah. I think I see the pattern here, Ryan, and I think it spells doom for old Cammy Ward. I kid. I hope. We'll see.
Listen, there's
Um,
a fun little thing. You know the saying, all's fair in love and war. Well, how about this? All's fair in love and ward.
oh, wow. That's a really good fantasy football team name.
Hey, I've thought about it. I thought if it happens, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it.
That is a really, really good fantasy football team. Dare I say, Ryan, that has style to it. Because at the fifth overall pick, Ryan, AJ Styles may have retired from WWE, but Sonny Styles is just getting started. We're taking New York Giants are taking Sonny Styles with the fifth overall pick. And much like Jeremiah Love, it's not one of those premier positions, but it's a premier player.
Hmm.
And so you go ahead and you do that.
I mean, can you imagine trying to throw over him and Tremaine Edmonds? Good luck.
Yeah. And Ryan, I have resisted comparing players to Ray Lewis at any point in time. And I'm not going to do that here either. But
Okay.
because he's not, because no one is, quite frankly, right? Like that's just not going to happen. But if you are John Harbaugh, though, don't you see the fact there's a super stud middle linebacker and you think back to your own successes of Ray Lewis, CJ Mosley, Roquan Smith, right?
Hmm.
John values middle linebacker, and I think it probably comes from the fact that when he was hired, it was Ray. Patrick Queen, sure, in there too, but more CJ Mosley than Ray Lewis. Sorry, or maybe it's Roquan Smith. He can be Roquan Smith. That's
Yeah,
great,
sure.
you know.
That's fine.
um, but when you're John Harbaugh, though, I think that you look at your own successes and what can you take and apply, and I think this is one of those opportunities where you can do that.
Yeah, I think he and Caleb Downs kind of fit that Harbaugh style build that he would look for here.
Because Ray
At the
Lewis and
spot.
Ed Reed, Ryan, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, yeah. I mean, it fits. And like, hey, they got two top 10 picks now.
You know
I,
what's really funny? The mock I did earlier, those were the two I had them take. And I was literally like, if I, I like to think that I am John Harbaugh, right? I have played as this man a lot in my life. If I were John Harbaugh, this is what I would do. I would just start there. We'll figure the rest of it out. Give me Ray, give me Ed. Let's start there.
yeah, and like, listen, you draft Abdul Carter the year before. I mean, like, hey,
There's your Suggs.
oh my goodness, he's real.
Now
He's
you
rebuilding the
traded away
Ravens.
you traded away Haloti Nada, but you're getting Ed Reed, so I guess it's okay.
Hey, listen, hello, Unada, fine player. You make that deal every time.
Uh, I'm not gonna ever disparage the name of Haloti Nada, Ryan.
Oh well, I didn't.
Um,
I said he's a fine player. He's a good player, but
Only fine, only fine.
in comparison to Ed Reed, he is.
I, he is not Ed Reed. That's fair. However, Haloti Nada was one heck of a football player. He finished sixth in DPOY voting in 2010,
Oh,
but Ed definitely won Defensive Player of the Year, right? Like two-time All-Pro for Haloti Nada. Just like the anchor in the middle of that defense, though.
yeah.
He had
Also,
two
just
interceptions in 2014.
maybe there's a little bit of
Gosh,
Ed Reed in him.
his final year as a Raven was 2014. That was so long ago.
Oh, Matt, let's just move on to Cleveland. Let's just move on to Cleveland, which is the first time anybody's ever said that ever. So, but
Take me back, Ryan. Take me back. Wow.
uh, all right, Cleveland
Yeah,
Browns are
right.
up next.
You pick for the Cleveland Browns while I sit here in like sadness. He's 42 years old now.
Oh
Huh.
goodness. Yeah, let's not think
Huh.
about it. Let's not think about it.
It's
Uh
too late. I'm down this rabbit hole. It's too late.
Cleveland Browns. They also have two picks, and I'm picking both those picks. That's kind of crazy.
Look at you, Ryan. Look at you. 10% of your picks gets to be Cleveland Browns and New York Jets.
It's what this pod was built on, is picking for those two
How
teams. Them or the
how
Giants.
many consecutive years do you think either the Browns or the Jets, at least, most time both, how many consecutive years do you think at least one of those two teams is picked in the top 10?
I'm trying to think. Can't remember the last.
I
I mean,
mean,
Cleveland. When they make the playoffs with Baker, I
Cleveland
think they
Cleveland's
do.
had a couple like okay years, but the Jets sucked, right?
Yeah.
Because the Jets haven't made the playoffs in, longer than the Angels.
I know
So
that
we're looking
hurts.
at least 2014 for the Jets to at least not made the playoffs. I mean, and once you get back to like 2014, well, then you're looking at crap Browns
Yeah.
dating back to like that one random, I guess probably like '07 would be my guess.
I don't know. It's been too long. Anyway, Cleveland here at number 6. Uh, Man, ideally, I think if they come out this first round with a receiver and a tackle, which I probably will end up doing, I think if they come out with that, then I think they would be pretty happy about that, considering they need some help at receiver. They need some help at offensive line. Of course, they lost their whole offensive line in free agency, and then they bought a whole new one in free agency. Such a Cleveland thing for them to do. But uh, listen, I think here at number 6, I think it's going to be a little bit too rich for one of the offensive linemen. I think they need a left tackle. I think everything else is set up and ready to go for that offensive line. I think I'm going to have them take the first receiver off the board and take Carnell Tate.
Okay.
Keep him in
That
state.
is once again, that is exactly who I had going in my own personal mock draft.
Yeah, I want to say I was looking back at I did only the first 16 a few weeks ago, but I think what I had in my first 6, I think besides Bailey going to the Cardinals It's been pretty much chalk. No, that's not true. I had Caleb Downs going number 5.
Um, Ryan, I unfortunately was not listening to your entirety of your Browns analysis, and I apologize for that. That's my fault. But it's also not. Would you like to hear the Google AI overview answering my question of
Oh
when's the
Lord.
last time either the Browns or Jets picked in the top 10 of the NFL draft?
Oh no. Google, what'd you have to say?
Okay. So that my question is when's the last time neither the Browns or Jets picked in the top 10 of the NFL draft? I'm gonna read this to you verbatim here, Ryan. Based on draft history, the last time neither the Browns nor the New York Jets picked in the top 10 of the NFL draft was 2014. The 2014 NFL draft, the Jets picked 18th, Calvin Pryor. The
Hmm.
Browns picked 8th and ninth. In parentheses, Justin Gilbert and Johnny Manziel.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
looking closer at the 2014 draft, actually the Browns are the fourth pick in 2014, and the Jets picked at 8. Did Google what is this? Correction. The last time both teams picked outside the top 10 was 2013. 2013 NFL draft. The Jets picked ninth and 13th. D. Milner and Sheldon Richardson. Wait, that's top 10. What are we doing, Google AI? What is this? Let's re-verify. According to recent draft results, the Jets picked at number 9 in 2013, 6 in 2015, 6 in 2017, 3rd in 19, 11 and 20, yada, yada, yada. The Browns have been frequently top 10 pickers as well in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 20. The last occurrence, searching for the most recent year both teams were out of the top 10, is 2011. The Jets took Muhammad Wilkerson and
Hmm.
the Browns picked 21st Phil Taylor. Therefore, 2011 is the last time neither the Browns nor the Jets held a top 10 pick. So Google AI fell all over itself here, Ryan. And I'm going to go to Pro Football Reference because I don't
Uh,
trust it now.
well,
Or
just
I
like the
never
Browns
did.
and the Jets, Google AI was tripping all over themselves.
I mean, that was ridiculous. And I
That was an
can
adventure.
confirm. Now, here's what's interesting with that, Ryan. I can confirm they did not pick in the top 10. Neither one did. However, Atlanta took Julio Jones. And if memory serves, wasn't
Hmm.
that the Browns trading out of it?
Uh, was
Yes, it
it?
was.
It
It
was.
was. So the Browns had the sixth overall pick, but did not pick it because they traded out. And gosh, can you imagine the Browns world they drafted Julio?
Poor Julio.
Okay, Ryan. So this big old I don't know the answer on the last time that they didn't pick it, but they had a pick.
Thanks, Google.
You know, Ryan, number six overall pick, wide receiver Julio Jones,
Oh goodness.
number six overall. You've got the taking Carnell Tates.
This is to make up for Julio Jones.
It sure feels to me like now someone needs to trade for this pick.
Dallas, we're looking at you.
Oh no, Ryan, no. Don't put No, we can't have the next Julio Jones in Dallas. We already
well,
had the most recent Julio
well,
Jones.
okay. The Rams. The Rams.
No, Ryan, they've got Puka. We need somewhere fun, somewhere that doesn't have.
Devontae is ancient. He's 33 years old. Oh my goodness, calling somebody ancient at
Uh
33. Oh goodness.
oh. That 32nd birthday's creeping up on me. Better watch out.
Well, hey, you're a year away. You're a year away, so you're fine. You know, it's your Ed Reed year. You're fine.
That's right.
Um,
I think Ryan. I mean, shouldn't the Ravens be the team that gets the next Julio Jones?
oh goodness, no. You
Doesn't
already
that?
got Derrick Henry.
Doesn't that? Yeah, but he's old, Ryan. He's my age.
You can only have two. I know that Cardinals not Alabama great, but you can only have two top 10, two greats from two big schools. No,
I disagree, but we shall see. All right, so that puts me back on the clock here with the Washington Red football team. Hmm.
Yeah.
In my mock, I had them take Francis Mauigoa.
Maui
Mauigoa?
Noah.
Mauigoa. Okay, say it fast, say it confident. Francis Mauigoa. And that's fine. They could use some offensive line. I do see in the consensus mock drafts on NFL mock draft database, Caleb Downs is the consensus pick for them, which is interesting. Dan Quinn loves his really good secondary players. I think I'm going to probably stick with my guy here, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll stick with Francis Mauigoa from the U from Miami, offensive lineman.
Also, should say he apparently they found a herniated disc or something. I think is what they
Shoot, did
said.
they now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I did information here. Oh boy.
Or
Should
Washington.
I change should I change that pick for the sake of the um for the sake of the validity here? Do I need to change that pick?
I mean, you can. It's fine.
Are we worried?
No.
No. No. No, let's leave it.
No.
Let's leave it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's an injury. You have allergies. He'll get over it too.
It's a little bit different than a herniated disc.
Is it? Is it,
Uh,
Ryan?
I mean, a herniated disc sounds a lot more painful.
In a different place, I'm sure it is.
Well, I mean, I know allergies are not fun, but if you ask me to pick between the two, I'm taking what I have now.
I don't know, man. My allergies, I might take a herniated disc.
All right, so Marinara goes there at number 7. New Orleans Saints here. Oh, man, I think I'm just in the mood of keeping people home, keeping people in state.
Oh,
The Saints, they need a couple different things. I don't know if they take a receiver here. They could take Ruben Bain. I'm going to have them stick and pick Mansour Delane from LSU.
oh no. You sniped me. Shoot. Not Mansois.
I mean, the Saints they need corner help. They traded Lattimore a couple years ago. Alontae Taylor left in free agency. So they need some help here. I do think if Cardinal Tate was available here, they would take him. They would and get Shuck a weapon. But you go and address defense, you get corner, you get a number one corner, and you keep the guy in state. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Saints fans that'll love that. I'm sure he'll love it. So when I get QB1, a guy that's risen up draft boards, even though he's a little bit of outlier too, considering the length, his arm length. Goodness gracious, our arm length is like we thought it was a big decision with Will Campbell last year. My goodness. Uh,
Oh. Who's the who was the tight end that has shorter arms than Keaton Mitchell?
oh, was he recent?
This year's class.
Oh, is it Sadiq?
Is it Sadiq? Um,
Surely not. Is it? Or is it Stowers? I can't remember.
I think it's Stowers. That sounds right. But I remember I saw someone made a comparison and his arms are literally shorter than like 5'7" Keaton Mitchell,
Oh goodness. Oh,
which is how?
not great.
No, not great at all.
And we thought Ruben Baines wasn't good.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, so that brings me back to the clock here, number 9 with the Kansas City Chiefs, and I was fully planning on going with Mansois Delaney over here. And you took that from me. And I just want you to feel a little bad about that for a second. So I'm gonna go over here. What was this? What do the Chiefs need? I don't, I think a lot of people are trying to force the wide receiver need, I think, a bit with the Chiefs.
Hmm.
You've got a guy in Rashi Rice who I think is a bit product of the system, but he works for them. You do have Travis Kelsey, who's ancient as one of your pass catchers. You have Xavier Worthy, who just hasn't panned out.
Yeah.
So I could go that route and see it, but I think I'm gonna go with Ruben Bain here. Pass rusher from Miami, right? Was
Mm-hmm.
he Miami?
Yep.
Yeah. Um, that is like the thing of the Chiefs defense, really. And they lose two corners. What's the best way to make up for that? Rush the passer better, right? Just get after the quarterback. Don't let your now next step starting corners get exposed. Sharpen up that pass rush. So I'll go that route with this one, and we'll go Ruben Bain. And Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. This feels a little lower than what originally was thought for him, right? He's kind of fallen over the course of the process.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was always that question with the arm length, and I know there was a stretch during the season where like he didn't, the sacks weren't coming in bunches for him. It was a really bad stretch. But I mean, yeah, he's kind of slipped and slide. Throughout the process, it seems like now it could be just barely inside the top 10 or just outside the top 10 for him. But I guess it just depends on who who wants to take him, who wants to bolster their pass rush room. And I think if Bain is there at number 9, I think the Chiefs would take him. I think they would.
He feels to me like a guy who I could see having a draft day slide, and then all of a sudden the screens turn purple, and everyone in America goes, "Of course, of
Yeah,
course, this guy fell to the Ravens." Right? Like he feels like a guy to me who could have a bit of a slide.
yeah, he does. All right, I got the Giants again. I mean, I got both New York teams.
Wow.
I got
So both Giants, both Jets, and both Browns, Ryan. You were one lucky, lucky fellow. I did not realize that.
I got both Cowboys too. I think.
I got both Chiefs.
Oh goodness. Giants here. The cursed team of the 573 podcast network. Uh, a curse that may go on for as long as time stands. Uh, we'll see if it gets broken this year. Will it? Probably not. Uh,
Nope. Poor
it's a
Jackson
safe
Dart.
bet. It's a safe bet. If you're betting on will the Peter Lewis curse end? Nah, not great odds. Uh, Giants at 10. I think if you're the Giants, you kind of love how this board fell to you because you got your pick of either Caleb Downs, Spencer Fano, or you can take Vega Ioane from Penn State. Speaking of Peter Lewis, or Jordan Tyson, from Arizona State. Um, so yeah, yeah. The Giants here, they could go a bunch of different directions. Man, I do think that even though Caleb Downs is here on the board, I think Malik Neighbors is on the mend. You did lose Wandale, and I think you went defense with your first pick, go offense with your second pick. And even though he's been banged up, and that's been the key issue here, is he's been rising here lately in the recent days. And I've seen some connections here with the Giants. I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson here at number 10.
I will let out an audible groan if that does happen because I like him a lot. Because I like him a lot, I don't want to see him go to the Giants, and I don't want to see him go to the Dolphins, right? Like this is a point in the draft where I'm gonna be holding my breath. Honestly, I'll be pretty happy for my purposes if he goes to the Chiefs. I feel like he can be a fun toy to add in that offense. I like Jordan Tyson a lot. He is my favorite receiver of the three. I like him more than Tate. I like him more than Lemon. Um, Man, if he goes to this offense though, where I feel like they're going to just run the ball. Um, and he's gonna be the number two behind Malik Neighbors. And I don't love Jackson Dart as a passer quite so
Mm-hmm.
much. Um, I'll be sad, Ryan. It's a good pick, but I'll be sad.
Well, I mean, Harbaugh does take receivers in the first round. I mean,
And then he doesn't use them, so they're full of stability at least,
also poor
right?
Jordan Tyson. He's not going to get used in this offense.
Like Zay's the only one, but I mean, Rashad Bateman, we're still waiting for him to, get to play some, and
It's been
that,
84 years, and you're still waiting on Bateman to produce.
and we're not going to talk about the other receiver that the Ravens took in the first round in the Harbaugh era.
All right, done with the top 10. We are now to Miami at number 11. Matt, you're on the clock.
We are at Miami. I am on the clock. Now, Ryan, I will say in my mock draft, I have the Miami Dolphins taking Jordan Tyson, which is almost me preparing myself to be sad. So I'm happy that that's not what's going to happen here. Um, but now the question becomes, do I have them just go ahead and take Makai Lemon? Do I have them take Spencer Fano? Do I have them take Caleb Downs? That kind of is my situation here, Ryan. I think I'm going to stick with the wide receiver little mini run here. We'll go ahead and do Makai Lemon.
Okay, okay. Rams fans are sad.
They are, Ryan, how much do you buy into the idea of the Rams taking a wide receiver?
I buy into it pretty heavily. Yeah,
Do
considering
you?
I feel like they want to go all in. Don't know how much longer you have with Stafford, and you get a guy like Lemon in there that's a ready-made player.
I just don't think wide receiver is the spot they need to go to if they want to go all in, I guess. Like they did a lot of three tight end personnels. Um and
Forecasting
you do have
13.
Adams. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see this big urgent need of wide receiver, and I don't think these are the players necessarily for it. Like, I don't know. I find that to be weird. But anyway, that brings up to you at number 12 with the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys, Ryan?
Oh boy, how about them Cowboys? They're going to get Caleb Downs fall right
Yeah.
down to them at number 12. Oh man, Jerry will be happily claiming this in the press conference when Caleb falls all the way down to him at 12. Oh my goodness, could you imagine? Oh man. Uh, Listen, I mean, Cowboys, they need some help in the secondary. They need help in edge. They did just add Jalen Thompson to that secondary, but you add a guy like Caleb Downs, who may not be the most physical, freakiest safety of them all, but the one thing that the two things that set him apart are his instincts and his IQ. Like they are next level. And Matt, I will tell you, you do not start on a Nick Saban coached defense at Alabama as a freshman unless you are that
Sure.
guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Ryan. I think we did Caleb Downs a disservice here. I think he's
Yeah,
going way higher than this.
I think so too. I seriously debated him going to the Giants there and just get that combo there, but
Sure.
Dallas gets him, and Giants fans are sad.
Yeah. Yeah. It would. What's the earliest you could see Caleb Downs going?
5. I could see it.
Yeah, I can too. I can see him being the first Giants pick. I can see a crazy world, right? Ah, I think Jeremiah Love is like a 60% likely pick for you with the Titans. And then I think from there, it's like Sonny Styles, one of the wide receivers. I can see a world where he even goes four. It's a surprise, but I could see it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, wouldn't be on my bingo card. I think it would be had to be like a trade down, but I mean, yeah.
All right, well, that brings on over to me here with the Los Angeles Rams at number 13 here. And I think this is actually kind of a little bit of an easy one. So anyway, the Rams here at 13, I think that's actually kind of an easy decision positionally. It's just a matter of what direction they want to go. You have the three offensive linemen. You got Spencer Fano, Morgan Freeling, and then you have the guy whose name I'm not even going to try to say, the guard out of Penn State. So I think it's a bit of preference there. I'm going to go Spencer Fano here, going to the Rams with this pick, Ryan. I think that they need to probably just do everything they can to make sure that Matthew Stafford's protected. These old quarterbacks do not like taking hits.
That's true. And Fano is, I mean, he can play anywhere on the offensive line too. So you're getting somebody who's extremely versatile, can really probably play all 5 spots on the offensive line. They were even testing that center, at the combine, seeing if he can snap. So he goes 13. Matt, I would say if he was there at 14, I would have put him with your Ravens.
Sure.
But since he is not there anymore, Ravens are, let's see, you got a couple guys that I think I'm eyeing in particular. Kenyon Sadiq and Vega Iowane, the guard from Penn State. Now, Matt, I know you probably wouldn't love to take a guy out of Penn State. Yeah, you know. uh,
Well, it would honestly be pretty on brand for the Ravens to take a guy out of Penn State and him turn out to be a stud, right? Like that feels like it
yeah.
would torture Peter Lewis. So actually, I'd be cool with it.
Torture Steelers fan Peter Lewis. Oh man, just
Yeah,
have him road grade the Steelers 2 times a year.
exactly. Yeah.
You know what? I can see the vision. I'm going with it. Sorry, Peter. But no, I want a top guard in the draft. And I mean, it's a need for the Ravens. They need some interior offensive line help. I mean, it's mainly kind of center, but I mean, Daniel Falele is with the Giants now. He's with John Harbaugh in New
Good
York.
riddance.
So, Matt, welcome in your new starting right guard.
I cannot believe, when coaches leave and they go other places, they often like to take players with them because, like, oh, I know this guy, I like this guy. I cannot fathom the idea of having had Daniel fa la 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 on your freaking team for the last 4 years and saying, I would like more of that. Yes, thank you, more, please. This guy's awful. He's a mountain of a man, but he is really, really bad at actually blocking people, Ryan. Um, yeah, I can't believe that the that Harbaugh brought him with him. So I'm happy to have a first round pick go in the middle of that offensive line. You probably do need it also with the loss of Linderbaum. You need some talent, and the way the Ravens offense runs, that's probably my preferred pick. I've heard the Sadiq stuff. I'm not in love with that personally. I don't think I don't think I'm on board with that. I'd be cool with like your guy out of Tennessee, Ryan, Jermon McCoy. If they decide to
Uh,
go forward, I'm cool with that.
well, he's got injury concerns. I mean, he missed
Does
all of
he?
last year with an ACL, and like they found something else that's really popped up here in recent in the last few
Okay.
days. So
Well, that changes things then.
yeah.
But I'm pretty cool with pretty much on the offensive line then. And then honestly, basically anyone who's already gone in this draft, like basically if me and you did not nail the top 13 picks, I would really like for any of those players to be picked 14,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, Tampa on the clock. You're on the clock.
Yeah. So this brings it over to me here at the Tampa Bay Lightning, not Tampa Bay Lightning, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Different sport.
Um, I'm in hockey mode.
This isn't the
Um,
NHL mock draft.
no, no,
Could
no,
you
man. I
imagine?
tell you what, man, some Gavin McKenna action. Oh yeah. Ryan, Tampa's interesting here in that I'm just gonna look at some of the needs here on NFL Net on NFL.com. They got edge, corner, linebacker, O line, D line. I agree with that for the most part. More Monroe Feeling is still out there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go that route here. I think for them, give them an offensive tackle. I know you they got Tristan Wirfs on one side. Um, did he move to left tackle now by now? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Go plug in the first rounder on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bucks are one of the teams I've really I've drafted Mesidor to them a lot, but like other than that, I just really don't know what to do with them in some of these mocks. I really just don't know because all the top edges are gone. It's too early for linebacker. It's just like, could you make a move for Sadiq? Yeah, even though you just re-signed Kate Oden, it's just it, it's a difficult spot to figure that out. But I mean, hey, keep Baker upright. I mean, that would help. And like this, I feel I've read that this could be where the run on offensive tackles could start. Around this
Okay.
around the teen range, around 11 to around that range. So
No,
don't be
and that's
surprised.
kind of what we got going.
Yeah, so don't be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of offensive tackles that are going to go tomorrow night. So if you like offensive linemen, oh boy, tomorrow night's your night. Uh, Next up, we got the New York Jets. Now, they aren't going to be taking an offensive lineman, but they do need a receiver. They do need a receiver. And Matt, this might be a little bit too high for him. And this might be, I don't know if the reasoning is dumb or not. But I'm going to go with a guy I've been giving them at 16. I'm going to go Denzel Boston at
Okay.
16. I think just with Concepcion and Omar Cooper left on the board, there's a lot of redundancy, I think, with Garrett Wilson, with him as a pass catcher. And Boston gives them a different flavor out there, out wide, 6'3", 6'4", big bodied receiver, can catch everything, can catch the 50-50 balls. So I think they go with the receiver here. I think they go Boston just to get a little bit of a different flavor here in this wide receiver room and give Garrett Wilson a running mate. They've been searching for that.
I'm not big on Denzel Boston. He is a 50-50 ball type of guy. And I just feel like in order to win that way at the NFL, you've got to be special. Like when it works, you are T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Drake London. But if you aren't that super mega elite at it, you just are a guy who has a hard time getting open. And
Yeah.
so I'm not in love with Denzel Boston. I get what you're saying, though. He's stylistically very different from Garrett Wilson. I think if I was running an offense, I would like to just have two Garrett Wilsons out there.
Well,
Uh,
that's true. That's true.
but
But
I don't think Concepcion or Omar Cooper are Garrett Wilson either. So I'm fine with that, though. I understand the idea of kind of diversifying the offense a little bit. Different roles, different body types, that kind of a thing.
yeah,
I
a couple
also
things. I mean, you have Boston in New York. Have fun with that.
okay.
Um, but also, I mean, 50-50 balls. I mean, think about Geno.
Okay, sure. There's a lot of 30-70 balls that he throws up. Sure.
Oh goodness.
I also have Ryan some PTSD still from a wide receiver drafted by the Giants who's a 50-50 ball guy named Denzel with Denzel Mims. So I'm still recovering from that,
Oh
Ryan.
boy.
It's been a while, but I'm still not over it.
Oh right. Lions here at number 17. Uh, Matt, they had a loss at offensive tackle. Are you going to go offensive tackle here?
Oh, I was leaning. So actually, in the mock I did, I went Jermon McCoy here. But now that I know about these injury problems, Ryan, that probably is enough to scare me off here, and to go ahead and yeah, probably pivot here to Caden Proctor, the tackle from Alabama. I feel like that's probably yeah, that'll go ahead and be my move here for Detroit because you're right, they lost Decker, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go Caden Proctor from Alabama.
Yeah, and they're going to be doing the Tristan Wirth things, where they move
Yes,
Penei Sewell over to left tackle. So,
yeah,
yeah, Proctor definitely fits like it feels like a Lions type of offensive lineman too, just big hulking offensive lineman that's 6'7", 350. Just
and that feels the kind of thing that Dan Campbell would prioritize, right? Like it definitely feels like that is the secret sauce of that Lions offense is the O line.
yeah, it definitely is. Staying in the NFC North, Minnesota Vikings here. Uh, they have a lot of different needs here, particularly in that secondary. And that's where I'm gonna go. And I've been making this pick for a lot of the mocks that I've done. Matt, they lost Harrison Smith. It's a
Yeah.
sad day for us. It's a sad day for Vikings fans not to see him play football back there because he was awesome. Why not get the guy that can follow in his footsteps potentially and get the next Harrison Smith and Dylan Thieneman, the safety from Oregon?
Yeah, it feels like when Ed Reed left the Ravens, they drafted Matt Elam, right?
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Hope,
Oh no.
hope, hopefully this one goes a little better, Ryan.
Hopefully so. Oh man,
Hopefully
talking about a
so.
blast from the past. Oh man.
No, I like it though. In that defense, Ryan, is he a safety who's kind of the type who can also like really attack in the box?
I think he can do a lot of different things. I think Flores would really love him. He can play in the box. He can play high up, single high, all that stuff. He was really productive at Purdue, and then he went to Oregon and was awesome there. So, yeah, I think he can be a do-it-all type of safety for Brian Flores, which I mean, I'm sure Flores will love to have another do-it-all type of safety. I'm sure he's like, yeah,
Exactly.
give me one of those, give me another one of those.
That's what Flores wants. He doesn't want a center field camper. He wants a guy that he can kind of play around with a little bit. So that brings it over to me here with the Carolina Panthers at pick 19, Ryan. And this is where I get excited and have a fantasy football player get picked, but then turn around and be probably kind of sad because you realize, oh, he's playing for Carolina. I'm not that excited. I'll go ahead and go with the tight end here, Kenyon Sadiq, also out of Oregon. Back to back Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, yeah. This is one I've been mocking too. The Panthers were another team. Yeah, it's
Who was their tight end?
uh, another NFC South team that I was just like, I don't know what to do with. If some guys fall to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and
Um,
honestly, I didn't know what to do with them picking games last year. They were surprisingly pretty good last year. Um, and I think that they're a team who I could see if not all of those offensive linemen were off the board, I could see them grabbing one of those guys. I can see them going one of the edges as well, and I can also see them going one of the receivers. I think they're in a spot actually with a lot of options. But I decided to go Sadiq here, just thinking it kind of adds a bit of something to the offense that maybe they didn't have before.
yeah, yeah, it adds a little bit of something. You get Ted McMillan last year, you add Sadiq this year. You can't blame him for building around Bryce Young and giving him weapons. That's for sure. I mean, you do it back to back years. Yeah. Um, Cowboys back up at number
About them
20.
Cowboys.
Oh man, no. How about not those Cowboys? Well, Dallas, they took Caleb Downs earlier with the number 12 overall pick. Probably going to get A plus on that grade from everybody. Next up, I think they go and attack edge, and I am going to go with Matt. It feels like the Cowboys are a team that I mean, especially with Jerry, how old he is, win now type of team. I think get somebody that can help you win now. And Messidor, there's been a lot of concern about his age, him being 25 heading into the draft. But I see that as he's ready made, he's ready to go, and he's ready to help you try to make a little bit of a run here with this Cowboys offense, who was really good last year. I'm gonna go with Messidor, the other pass rusher out of Miami, and I've seen some people mention like, hey, we like him a little bit better than Bain, which kind of like, okay, whoa.
Wow.
So I think Cowboys, they go and address that defense. Christian Parker gets a couple new toys to play around with on that defense that desperately needed some reinforcements. So there's the Cowboys going defense both picks.
You say he's 25. I guess with COVID and injury rules being
Yeah,
weird right now, it
yeah.
still is. Yeah. Yeah. That brings it to Ryan. I get to be in control of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is exciting. So I'm gonna click this little tab on this here button over here to punters. Yeah, a fella named Jack Stonehouse out of the University of Syracuse. Sounds like a great punter. Tommy Doman out of Florida, Ryan.
Boo.
Uh, but Ryan, I gotta tell you though, the Iowa State Cyclones, they really speak to me, and thinking about what the Iowa State Cyclone offense is like, but there was a lot of punts. So Tyler Perkins, probably a real experienced veteran punter, probably could be. I think this is a guy who would really make a lot of sense for the Pittsburgh Steelers here at pick 21.
And I mean, hey, you got the Matt Campbell connection. He's now coaching Penn State. So I mean, there you go,
Thank
Peter.
you. Thank you for tying some logic in. I really appreciate that. No, I tell you what, I think for the Steelers, I look at this team and I see a defense that's getting old.
Yeah,
I see an offense
yeah.
that's not good. So you could kind of go either way here. I think is Aaron Rodgers the official GM?
I
Because
mean,
if he is, then I'm probably
kind of.
going offensive line.
I mean, kind of. He hasn't said
But
whether he's coming back or not. So
but if he's not in the building, I'm gonna go ahead and take Keldrick Falk here. pass rusher out of
Okay.
Auburn. Because the defense is getting old, and I feel like adding another pass rusher is always something that can help extend that out a little bit. He can kind of be a rotational player. Maybe he can take some of the snaps off of TJ Watt because Watt has had some injury problems here lately. Yeah, so we're gonna go that route.
I don't mind that pick either because Falk is one of the younger players in this draft. He's going to be turning 21 later this year, I believe, and
Wow.
yeah. I mean, he's one of the younger guys in this draft. 6'5", 260, 270. So he's still refining his pass rush, but I think being alongside TJ and being alongside Highsmith, you're going to pick up on some stuff. You're going to be a sponge and you're going to soak that in.
That means at the point in time of making the fifth year option decision, Mesidor will be 29 and Falk will be Mesidor's current age.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh man, Cowboys fans are probably not happy about that. Uh, let's see here. Los Angeles Chargers here. I mean, talking about a team that could use some defensive line help. They could definitely use some defensive line help. They could also use some interior offensive line help. Uh, so I feel like maybe it's a little bit too early for one of the interior linemen. And I don't know about the interior defensive linemen. It feels like the same story as it was with free agency. There's not a whole lot of great options out there with the draft. Feels like Peter Woods might be the top guy here. It feels from what I've read a really polarizing prospect. Could go in the first or could go in the second. And fall there. A guy that was once thought of as a top 15 prospect around this time last year. So, uh, I think that's where I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with Peter Lewis here. Peter Woods, rather, out of Clemson. Got confused there for a second. Oh boy, could you imagine Peter Lewis gets his name called out, plays for Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers?
You know the meme where the guy's like holding the beer bottle and pointing at himself like, wait, me? Live
it's
look at Peter Lewis.
it's literally like I always joke like with especially with NBA where like you got G League guys out there, second string G League guys, and like I made this joke with the Grizzlies like, hey, listen, honestly, with the way their season's going, like they might just call one of us out from the stands and just say, hey, come out, you're getting some playing time. That's exactly what I imagine here, except the Chargers aren't that hurt. It's just like we're picking Peter Lewis here, number 22 overall. And his luck, he would miss out on going to the Steelers by a pick. Oh, Philadelphia Eagles, 23.
So this is interesting because you got two of the big receivers, those second tier receivers still on the board.
Yes.
Um, AJ Brown, it sure sounds like he's gonna get traded on June 1st, right?
Yep.
Um, I like the Dontavian Wicks trade they made though. And I think about the way the Eagles offense functions, and I don't think they necessarily have got to go that route. And I wonder if they even get like Demario Douglas back in that trade or something.
Mm.
Like just like a depth guy, you rather throw him in there. I could see them using a second round pick on a receiver. If they don't take Ty Simpson, like is obviously going to happen, as I mentioned earlier. They let Reed Blankenship walk in free agency though. Blankenship's gone, so I'm gonna go and take Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo here.
Hey, bring back the Toledo guys together.
What did I say his name was Emmanuel what?
McNeil Warren.
McNeil Warren.
Pair him back up with Quinyon Mitchell.
Oh, that's fun. You're right. That is
The run on Toledo players recently has been pretty remarkable here. It's just like those two guys, in particular. Yeah, I could see them taking a safety. I don't know if I would go here. I think offensive lineman is where I probably would go. But I will say this, not having Jeff Stoutland there anymore, I don't think that affects anything too much, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind considering how well he developed the Eagles offensive line year after year after year. And we know the Eagles,
yeah,
they always tend to draft a year ahead.
yeah.
So There's the Eagles at 23. That is fun getting Quinion and Emmanuel back together. Yeah,
That is fun. How many secondaries have two guys from Toledo in them?
uh, not many. It's a fun trivia question. I'll tell you that much. Uh, Cleveland is back on the clock, and you know, I'm gonna have them taking one of the offensive tackles. They definitely need some offensive line help. I'm going to take a guy that I think has a lot of potential from what I've been reading, as a guy that's been rising, can play right tackle and can develop well enough, can move on over to left tackle and be somebody's future booking left tackle. I'm going to go with the Max Iheanacho from Arizona State here. And he goes to Cleveland, who needs some offensive line help. Now, whether he would start out at right tackle or left tackle, I imagine it would be at right tackle, and we can figure out who starts at left tackle, whether it's DeJuan Jones or Titus Howard or whoever. Um, Cleveland will figure it out. And will it probably be a disaster? Good chance it probably will, knowing Cleveland. But but I think you take in Nachor, got a lot of potential that can come in. It's really only started playing football here within the last few years. So it's still learning the game. But I think Cleveland shores up its offensive line issues. And, hey, like I said, at number 6, you get a receiver and offensive tackle. I think if you're Cleveland, you're night one, you come out with a receiver and a tackle, whoever it is, you're like, hey, that's a victory for us. No matter what happens, we got 2 of our guys. All right. Chicago Bears, man. You got Chicago.
I do, and they are fascinating. I I have some strong temptation to go with one of the receivers here.
Ooh.
They sent DJ Moore off in the trade to Buffalo. Um, you have Luther Burden, you have Rome Odunze. Burden in particular did not show a ton in year one, but I feel like he's primed and ready to. You almost think of like the JSN career track, right? Where it's like year one, you're behind Lockett and Metcalf, and then you got to go be the guy. So maybe not. They also need some offensive line help to protect him. So because of that, I'm gonna go Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle out of Utah here. But I am tempted to take I was tempted to take one of the linemen or one of the receivers rather.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I've been seeing, just reading that as a possibility for the Bears. I mean, considering Ozzy Trapillo, who they took last year in the draft, had fine moments, got hurt. I believe it is patella or tendon. He ruptured that, so you don't know about him. They bring back Braxton Jones, so maybe you want to get
Yeah.
Caleb Lomu in there, and he's a young tackle as well. I believe he was a redshirt sophomore, so you kind of let him learn a little bit. You figure out, with him and Trapillo, whenever he comes back, you figure that out, uh, whenever. But I like the pick. It's definitely something I could see Ben Johnson, who comes from Detroit. I could definitely
Yeah.
see him doing that.
Yes, for sure on that regard.
Uh, Buffalo is up next. With the quarterback that's the big giant scary blue man. The King's favorite.
Big blue man. Yeah, yeah. The new father. Now he has a little blue girl, right? Wasn't it a daughter
Yep, it
with
was.
him and Haley? Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know what? He's having a fun time right now. He's at hockey games, hockey playoff games. He's having a fun time.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Tampa Bay Lightning are on his mind as well.
So he's having a fun time with all the stuff going on in his life. Bills. I'll tell you what, man. I did a mock. I believe it was today or yesterday, and it was the first time I think I had done it in the first round. I'd gone a different direction with the Bills. I think I had gone edge rusher every time. I'll tell you what, the Bears not adding a shiny new toy. I think the Bills add a shiny new toy. Give me Omar Cooper Jr. at 26.
Yeah. They just keep on throwing numbers at it, right? Like just keep on taking guys until you finally figure one out.
Yeah, and I think Cooper being a yak guy, I think Joe Brady will see the appeal in that. And it doesn't make too much of a difference who your coach is, but I think having Joe Brady as your coach, coming from the offensive school of thought, would definitely like to add a guy to this offense of his and just find a way to make it more explosive and and easier for Josh Allen, to distribute the ball. So, yeah, give me Omar Cooper Jr. there at 26. All right. San Francisco on the clock.
49ers. Let me see here. 49ers. What would I do if I was in charge of the 49ers? Well, KC Concepcion is definitely in my eyeball here. But do we go that route or do we go in the trenches? Because Ayuk is on his way. Ayuk is still on the team, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, but like he's not playing for them again. Like Ayuk is gone. Pearsall, yeah, we'll see. It hasn't been promising. They did bring in Mike Evans, but they're losing Jawan Jennings. I think I might go receiver here. Let's go with KC Concepcion.
I could see I can see this being a very Kyle Shanahan type of thing to do. I
Yeah,
could
he
see it.
feels that style, doesn't he?
Yeah, it definitely feels like a pick that Kyle would definitely make. Yeah. Do we need
He
trenches?
feels
Yeah. Well, but you see this receiver? Yeah, let's take him.
he feels a little Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, I mean he's explosive too. The thing with Concepcion has been the drops. That's been the issue there. But I think they could get that coached right in San Francisco. All right, Houston Texans. I'll tell you what, they could go trenches here as well. And there's a offensive lineman here that they could take in Blake Miller. I think, Matt, I'm going to go interior offense lineman. I'm going to get with Chase Besantis, and I'm going to have him stay home with Houston. Um, I think they've added Braden Smith at tackle. I don't think that should preclude them from taking a tackle, but I think you add on the interior, you boost that up, get Besantis, who's a big guard. Uh, I believe started as a freshman pretty early on at A&M. So starting in the SEC early says something. So bolster that offensive line, keep CJ Stroud upright. I mean, somebody needs to. So,
Someone
uh,
needs to.
so
We saw it
Besantis,
happen.
you're up.
Yeah, well, no, we saw it happen in the playoff game when teams pressure CJ Stroud. We've seen it really his whole career. When
Yeah.
Stroud's pressured, he freaks out and doesn't know what to do. He's got the weapons. Like you've got Nico, you got the two kids they drafted last year, you got Tank Dell coming back. Like they've got the pieces around him. They kind of just need to protect him a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so this brings me over here to the Kansas City Chiefs for the second time on this lovely evening. We already drafted Ruben Bain. So that was exciting. And what's funny is in my personal mock, I had them take Mansour Delane at 9 and then Edge at 29. In this one, they already took the Edge. So is there a corner to take? Ryan, is this a point? Are we still scared enough of Jermod McCoy's injuries, or is 29 a spot where you can now see it?
I mean, I could see the Chiefs making the move, but it might be a Will Johnson type of situation like last year, where
Okay,
he
sure.
where he fell into the second round. He fell to Arizona like mid 40s. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but I still think they could take corner. There's a couple guys on here. You got another Tennessee corner, Colton Hood, that they could take.
I think then we're going to go ahead and kick over to the offensive line, and let's take Blake Miller here.
Okay.
Offensive tackle at Clemson. The Chiefs' offensive line has been kind of a moving target of conversation for, I would say, the later years here that we've had. It feels like every time they lose a playoff game, it's because their offensive line just gets shredded, right? You got the guy who jumps off sides all the time and Jawan Taylor. So I think he's gone, right? I believe.
Yeah, he's gone.
So yeah, maybe slot a guy in there.
All right, Dolphins at 30. I'll tell you what, Matt. When people say they need everything, they are not king. They need
Yeah,
everything.
literally everything.
uh,
Except for running back. They have A-Chan. So at
and a
least get that
quarterback.
figured out.
They got Malik for a little bit.
They need to figure out quarterback. Not this year, but they do need to figure it out.
They do need to figure it out. I'm gonna have them go and take an edge, and I'm gonna go with a guy that's seen that's is a little bit different than Chop Robinson. Is a little bit of a bigger edge. John Eric Sullivan, the GM from the Packers, who's now with the Dolphins. This feels like a Sedarius Smith, Preston Smith type of guy. I'm going to have him take Zion Young from Missouri.
Nice.
From what I've read, very violent edge rusher. So for Miami, you need those types of guys. So, like, hey, you get a wide receiver one and you get another edge rusher to go with Chop Robinson.
Say it with me, Ryan. M-I-Z.
No.
M-I-Z.
No, I can't. My orange blood prevents me.
M-I-Z.
No.
Z-O-U. M-I-Z. Z-O-U. There you go, Ryan. There you go. That's the spirit. All right. That brings me here with pick number 31, my final pick of the night here. The New England Patriots, the AFC champion. New England Patriots. Isn't that something to say for the first time in quite some time?
I did miss it.
Fair. What's interesting here is Ryan, I don't hold this team in too high of esteem, so I feel like there actually are like kind of a lot of needs to fill. I'm gonna go ahead and go with an edge rusher here. Give me TJ Parker, edge out of Clemson, to round out the night for the New England Patriots.
Nice. Hey, they need edge rushers.
Yeah.
All right, Seattle.
Bring us home with the Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle, if I could trade out this pick, I would. But we don't do trades here. They have a couple different needs here. Could they go price here? I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to get them and not risk them going later?
Who's your favorite running back on the board? Is it Price?
It's probably Price. It's probably Price. Okay. I think I've seen Daniel Jeremiah have him be the second running back off the board. It's particularly in this spot.
I like Coleman.
Yeah, I think somebody's going to get somebody good there later on. I am going to go with opposite. I'm going to go with the corner named Chris Johnson.
Oh, CJ2K.
Not exactly, but hey, they need some corner help. You lose Reek Woolen, so boost up that secondary. And so that means there will be some pretty good players left on the board there, heading into day 2. So we did it, Matt. We did it.
We sure did. 32 picks in the books.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this edition of the Views from the 573. Happy draft day, everybody. Before the draft, maybe go watch draft day. Get to watch a Master and Kevin Costner at work, the way he works the phones there. But that's all we got for you guys this week. We'll be doing a draft recap, sure enough. Until then, everybody, have a good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.